everybody, welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Guess what? Today is May 27th, 2026. Now, why am I mentioning this date? Because it has some special meaning to it. 2 years ago, May 27th, on 2024, was Memorial Day. So today is Wednesday, but it was Monday 2 years ago, and that is when I first recorded my video. I did not have any microphone or anything. It was just on my iPhone, and then I never stopped. That opened up a portal, as you guys know if you have been coming to this channel for a while. And then I had this little microphone that I clip on, which I will still be using for the shorts, but I bought a bigger microphone. Look at this. These are the ones they use for podcasts. So I thought for the longer videos, you know, the Wednesday and Sunday, I'm gonna be, oh, there's something flying. I'm gonna be using this microphone. How cool is that? And the coincidence of using it actually came like a week or 2 weeks ago, I think. But then I haven't gotten to use it, but I was like, you know, sometime the coincidence of time or synchronicity or whatever you call it is, it just, I actually didn't think through it. Just I didn't have any more Wisdom Wednesday videos because sometimes I film them in like several of them at once. Today I did not have any more saved, so I'm like, okay, I gotta make a new one. It just worked out in a way that, you know, I'm using this microphone today. So today's message is something related to separation and divorce. If you are going through, and different states in the United States have different time limits. It takes a long time from starting off the, oh, you guys might be, it's funny, I'm wearing this ring. I was actually not planning to cover this in video, but I am going to. I actually said that to a friend, and now that you guys saw this, so I had a little bit of trauma. So I know I deviated from the topic. I'll come back to it. So it's been, what, 2.5 years ago, where I had my marriage falling apart suddenly, and then 2-3 weeks right before then I had my job loss, which was also sudden. So two sudden things back to back. And since then, you know, I have rebuilt my whole life, and I will tell you guys something. And since again I keep everything very real, authentic, I had a little bit of trauma around the word marriage. So what I was doing is I have done a lot of work on myself, and then last few weeks, probably over a month now, I just a random ring that I had bought, bunch of rings from Amazon. I wear, like, you know, in different fingers for style. And I was wearing a ring on my ring finger to get out of the trauma. And it worked. It worked. And I'll tell you how it worked. A friend of mine she also watches these videos. And hi friend, if you're watching it, because I have lots of videos, so some of them she watches and some she probably doesn't. So she and I talk about our dating life and whatnot, which I did not cover it here because I keep that private. Anyway, so the word marriage had a little traumatic experience on me, and then I was able to use the word marriage like in the future sometime, whenever, I don't care. But the point is that I was able to use that. I could use it for others, but when I think about me, it had some trauma associated with it. Of course, you would realize when things happen suddenly, it can create that trauma. So in case if you are, I know I deviated from the topic, which happens in this channel. You guys know I just keep it real. Because I forgot to remove that ring. I wear it only in private sometime again to remove that trauma, which worked really wonderfully. Because what they say is trauma is stuck in your body more than your mind. So you might work through your mind and you might get there, but your physical body still will hold it. And I am a living proof this thing worked. I actually didn't expect it to work this much, but it did. So okay. So face your fear. It's almost like a trauma is nothing other than a fear that is stuck in your mind and then stuck in your body. So when you can get it out of your mind, that's step one. Step two is getting it out of your body, you know, because the body is the subconscious. So now going back to what I originally thought to cover is that when you are going through separation and divorce, there will be things, there will be legal battles and whatnot, depending on, how it is going for you guys. For some people, it can get really, really challenging. And if you have kids, a lot of time, one party has to be more forgiving, and it's not easy, but you just have to remember the greater good. And it it will, you have to think of the long term. And how it will help your kids in the long term if you don't react. And in the early days it'll be harder, but as time passes on, believe me, it does get easier. And then it'll be a cycle. Sometime it'll be a cycle of bad things, and then the good will come. I was reading this book from Jefferson Fisher, and it was such an interesting point. He mentioned that a lot of time, and as when two people are like, he doesn't cover it from the marriage perspective, because I was also reading Gary Chapman's Five Love Languages book. I actually have 6 of his books now because I do lots of research for my own book writing, and reading Jefferson Fisher and many other books around that, about the communication and all that, how to make it better between couples, whatnot. And as people start dating after divorce, so I also help people to guide in that way, and also do different games on my meetup events and stuff like that. So anyway, his point was that as you go through, when people would sometimes try to trigger you, it is what is going on in their mind. You got to remember that. You absolutely have to remember that. And that is true for relationship that is falling apart, or it could also apply to your work and other kind of relationship, even with your friends or something. Having that empathy, like, okay, that person is going through something in their life, and they are probably that emotion is falling into this. And when you just think of that, maybe something is going on. Maybe, right? The word is maybe. Something is going on in their life that will kind of help you to not react. And why I decided to make this video after I saw this, and after I read this book today, and there were several other things, because it is so easy for us to react, right? And thinking that, okay, the other person has made me feel bad, so I'm also going to make the other person feel bad, because that's just our human nature, right? But sometimes when we take a step back, it actually helps you. And it is not overnight, trust me. It is over time. For me, it took a long time. But every time you make a progress, know that for next time it's even better, right? So if you are in the thick of it, if you're going through the separation, if you're going through the divorce, know that I know it because I went through it. The day-to-day can be so challenging, especially if you're separating in the same house, right? It can be so challenging. Just for your kids' sake, try your best. You won't be perfect. Nobody's perfect. I was not, right? So, but every little progress you make, it is going to make you so much stronger for the future, okay? So with that, I'm going to finish the video. So the first point, it was unplanned, but for your trauma, you got to face the fear. And a lot of time you'll have to work with your therapist to do that, because I'm not a therapist. In the first year, 2024, when I was working on my reinvention, I used to go to my therapy every week, and then I reduced to once every 2 weeks and things like that. And once in a while now, I still go maybe once or twice every 3-4 months if I feel the need. But because my work is all related to that, I kind of got addicted to positivity. So there's a short I made last week, so you guys should watch it. Anyway, because I know the impact of not being in the positive zone, and it is all about my framework too. And finally, just just keep looking for the silver lining in everything, because everything has two sides of it, a negative side and a positive side. So keep looking for that positive side, which is the silver lining. If you keep looking, you will find it. Okay? And if this channel is helping you, please do share it with others who you think may also find help. Okay? Bye.